So today's topic is about writing chemical formulae, how to write chemical formulae. So the method which we are going to follow for writing chemical formulae is the crisscross method. The crisscross method. Okay, so what is the crisscross method? See, first we have to write the symbols side by side. Basic radical. See, they are repeating this basic radical, basic radical. What is basic radical? I told you that the electrovalent positive ions or positive valency uh, uh, elements, they are known as basic radicals, and the negative valency radicals or electrovalent negative ions or electronegative ions are known as acid radicals. So don't worry about this terms basic and acid radicals much right now, because they are not so much of importance as of now. But yes, in future we will be categorizing in this particular context. But as of now, the positive ions should be written first, and the negative ions should be written after that. That is the first step. The symbols with the positive ions first and negative ions after that should be written side by side. You have to write the valency of each atom on top of its symbol. So you have to write the ions with its valency. Divide the valency numbers by their highest common factor. I'm going to explain you this. If any, to get the simple ratio. Ignore the plus and minus symbol, because plus and minus symbols are simply for the loss or gain of electrons. They do not matter while writing the chemical formulae. Interchange the valency of the radicals in the subscript. Okay, write the interchanged valency numbers to the lower right of the radicals. That is the subscript. Subscript means to the lower right. I will show you that with an example. If the radical is group of atoms and has a valency number more than one, then enclose it within the bracket. Okay, so these are the 4 steps for writing chemical formula. Now you must be wondering कि ये 4 steps तो बता दिए, but it's not very clear yet. तो अभी हम लोग क्या करेंगे, कैल practically show you कि यहाँ से we can take a couple of examples. Maybe you can say, let's take 5 to 7 examples, different examples, and let's see how to frame or make a formula, a chemical formula, and how to write the chemical formula. ठीक है, चलो. तो first I'm going to select let's say copper. Cu uh, no, not copper, sodium, I'm sorry, sodium. This is quite simple, sodium. And from negatives, I'm going to take, let's say nitrate, NO3 minus. Okay, so just have a look, sodium Na plus and nitrate NO3 minus, right? Let's take it to the right side. Na plus, this is the first example, and NO3 minus. What is this plus symbol? This plus symbol or positive valency simply signifies the donation of electron. When the electron is donated or given out, one electron is given out, so you just put plus sign, or 1 plus, you write 1 plus. And what does this minus signifies? Now see here, this is a radical. Why is it a radical? Because there is a group of atoms together behaving like a single unit. One nitrogen and 3 oxygen stay together as a single unit, and they have a valency of minus, means 1 minus. Okay, so they accept 1 electron overall and become stable, right? So this is basically these are basically the two ions which are going to react with each other and form a single compound. So how to write the chemical formula of that particular single compound? That is the question, right? So what we are going to do is, we are going to shift this number 1 over here on the bottom side of NO3, and we are going to shift this 1 minus, not with the minus sign, just 1, to the bottom of Na. So that is crisscross method, which I was talking about. Now write the symbol, and beneath the symbol write the number. Okay, besides it the another symbol, that is the negative ion. Enclose it within the bracket because it is a radical, it has its own subscript, and this number 1 which comes here in the bottom you should write over here. Now the general idea is that we do not write 1 in the subscript. We do not write 1. If we don't write a number, that means there is 1. Okay, so this is not the correct way of expressing it. So we don't express it this way. What we do is we simply write NaNO3. No brackets also required. NaNO3, sodium nitrate. How to name it, that also I'm going to tell you. But the steps which they were talking about, I've utilized all of those steps. I've written the basic radical, that is a positive ion first, the acid radical or negative ion after that, and I have interchanged their subscripts in form of their valencies. But since they were one, I've ignored and written NaNO3 as my formula, chemical formula of my compound. Okay, so any positive or negative, any positive and negative ion can actually form an ionic compound, and it's very easy to write chemical formula of an ionic compound. So this is basically an example of ionic compound. So there are ionic compounds which we are going to study in detail in class 9th, and there are other compounds which are basically formed by sharing certain electrons between them. So these types of chemical combinations we are going to study in class 9th and class 10th in detail. But let's first focus on forming or writing chemical formula. Okay, let's take one more positive ion, barium, Ba2 plus, barium. Okay, and from this side we'll take, let's take chloride. So our positive ion is barium, Ba2 plus, and negative ion is chloride, Cl minus. Let's write a chemical formula. Ba2 plus Cl1 minus, crisscross. Okay, so in the bottom of Ba it will be 1, we don't write 1. So Cl, in the bottom of Cl we'll write 2 without its plus or minus sign, BaCl2. This is the required chemical formula, and the name is barium chloride. Very easy. Let's take one more example. This is also an ionic compound. All the compounds formed between metals and non-metals are ionic compound, and you will see that in the first table, in the table of all electropositive ions, there are mostly all the metals. Only there is one non-metal which I can show you, which I'm going to take next as an example, is ammonium. Ammonium is a non-metallic positive radical, non-metallic positive radical, the only non-metallic positive radical. Okay, ammonium, NH4 plus, its valency is 1 plus. Let's take another example, ammonium. Okay, so we are going to take ammonium sulfate, SO4 2 minus, ammonium NH4 plus, sulfate SO4 2 minus. So you must be thinking, can we take any metallic and non-metallic ion and can we make their formula? Yes, absolutely, absolutely you can. Okay, so this is a very good actually exercise or game, you can say, which you can play whenever you want to practice forming formulae. But it's very simple. The first thing required to do this particular exercise is to remember all the valencies, and that's what my homework was in the last class. So I'm sure that you must have memorized all the valencies. So now you are ready to form chemical formulae. Ammonium sulfate, NH4 plus, SO4 2 minus. Let's do it. NH4 plus SO4 2 minus. Now plus means 1 plus, right? So we'll do crisscross and we'll get NH4 twice. Okay, this 2 comes here in the bottom in the subscript, but there is already 4 in the subscript of the radical NH4. That's why to avoid the confusion, to write it clearly, we'll enclose it in the bracket and then put one more subscript of 2. So NH4 twice SO4, and the name is ammonium sulfate. Ammonium sulfate, it is a compound, ionic compound. Let's take one more example. Copper, Cu2 plus. Cu2 plus, let's take Cu2 plus and let's take one more. Okay, let's take oxide. Why not? Copper oxide, very famous. Cu2 plus and O2 minus. I'm just taking random examples just to show you how chemical formulae are formed. Copper, Cu2 plus, sulfate, SO4, 2 minus. Okay, so this 2 will go here in the bottom, this 2 will go here in the bottom. Now see, there is one very strange thing happening over here. Cu comes with a subscript 2 and SO4 also enclosed in the bracket and comes with a subscript 2. They both have a subscript 2. Now you remember that in the steps of writing chemical formula, there was this third step which said that divide the valency numbers by their highest common factor, if any, to get a simple ratio. Now I want to ask you this question, that is this copper oxide formula, the subscript number, are they in the simple ratio like 2 and 2? What is the simple ratio of 2 is to 2 or 2 by 2? If you divide 2 by 2, you should get 1 by 1. So 1 is to 1 is the simple ratio. So what is the HCF of 2 and 2? It is 2. So you should divide these number 2 by 2 to get a simplest ratio. You should divide each of the number 2 by their HCF, that is 2, to get a simplest ratio. So basically what we do is we just cut this 2 and we write Cu. Hey, that's copper oxide I was talking about, but it's okay. CuSO4 is also the same thing, copper sulfate. Let's take the example which I intended to take earlier. Copper oxide, Cu2 plus and O2 minus. So that is Cu2 O2, but we don't write it. This is not the right way. We don't write it like that. So we just write CuO. So the HCF of 2 is both the 2's is 2, and we divide both these 2's by their HCF, which is 2, and we get the simplest ratio CuO, copper oxide, CuO. Okay, so that's how copper oxide's formula is formed. Let's take one more example. Okay, let's take potassium. Potassium K plus potassium. And let's take zincate. ZnO2 2 minus. Potassium zincate. Potassium K plus zincate. ZnO2 2 minus. Okay, crisscross. So potassium will have a subscript 2 now, and zincate ZnO2 will have a subscript 1. We don't write 1, so we leave it as it is, potassium zincate. K2ZnO2, potassium zincate. It's a mixed, no, it's a complex salt, potassium zincate. Let's take one more example from metals. Hey, let's take this one. This sounds interesting. Pb4 plus, lead 4. Lead 4 is sometimes used, lead 4. And CO3 2 minus. Lead and carbonate. Plumbic, we don't say plumbic, we said lead 4. Okay, whenever the new directions of IUPAC is whenever the valency is variable, you should use this Roman letters to signify the valency. So lead 4 carbonate will be the name of the compound. Let's write it. Lead Pb4 plus carbonate CO3 2 minus. Okay, crisscross. Now tell me, before writing anything, what is the HCF of 4 and 2, highest common factor? Highest common factor of 4 and 2 is 2. So we divide both the numbers by 2. So if we divide 4 by 2, we'll get 2, and we'll divide 2 by 2, we'll get 1. So basically, we'll get Pb, 1, we don't write 1, and CO3 twice, lead carbonate. Okay, otherwise it would have been Pb2 CO3 4, but we don't write the numbers in their given ratio, we write the numbers in their simplest ratio. So the simplest ratio of 4 and 2 is 2 is to 1. So basically they get interchanged. This 2 will come here in the bottom, this 4 will go here in the bottom, this 2 will become 1, this 4 will become 2, and lead carbonate, this is the formula for lead 4 carbonate. Let's take one more example. Let's take an example of aluminium. Why not? Aluminium hydroxide, OH minus, Al3 plus, OH minus. Al3 plus, OH minus. Okay, so this 3 plus will go here in the bottom, minus will go here in the bottom. Al, we don't write 1, okay, so we'll directly write OH in the bracket because it's a radical, thrice. ALOH thrice. So here, why the bracket? Because the combined valency of O and H has become now 3. Not the valency, but you can say the number of atoms. The number of atoms of oxygen and hydrogen combined has become 3. Oxygen is also 3, hydrogen is also 3. So ALOH thrice, aluminium hydroxide. Correct? So putting brackets whenever radicals are considered is very, very important. Correct? So yeah, this is basically the method of writing chemical formulae. So now, by now, you might have understood that how to write chemical formulae. Now they have given you some important chemical formulae for your reference. So please remember, valency is to be memorized, but chemical formulae are not at all required to be memorized by you. Yeah, some chemical formulae, like there's some chemical formulae of common compounds must be kept in mind, like the chemical compounds, chemical formula of all acids, bases, they are all important. And as we go ahead in the chapter, we'll go through this memorization part, and I'll tell you what to memorize and what not to. Okay, so these are just for your reference. Okay, now the topic is naming certain compounds. Okay, so what are the rules in naming certain compounds? Please pay attention here. When you are naming a compound containing a metal and a non-metal, there is one rule to be followed. The metal is written first and then the non-metal. And the suffix IDE is added to the non-metal. Always remember, पहले metal को लिखो. So calcium plus nitrogen, पहले metal को लिख लिया calcium. एंड देन नाइट्रोजन नहीं लिखना है, नाइट्रोजन के एंड में एक सफिक्स लगाना है. सफिक्स इज द you can say the group of letters which with which a word ends. Suffix is a group of letter with which a word ends IDE. तो नाइट्रोजन के एंड में नाइट्रोजनाइड नहीं होगा, वो नाइट्राइड हो जाएगा. ठीक है. सो नाइट्रोजन विल बिकम नाइट्राइड. सो कैल्शियम नाइट्राइड. That's how you name a compound of a metal and a non-metal. Metal is written first and then non-metal, and suffix IDE is added to non-metal. Two non-metals. Two non-metals. Whenever you have to name a compound having two non-metals, the prefix tri or tetra or penta, etc. is added as the case may be. Prefix means a group of letters which are written before or in ahead or in front of the name of the chemical or any name. Okay, so PCl3. Now you know there is one phosphorus, so I've just written phosphorus because it comes first, and then Cl3. So there are three chlorines. So you write tri and then chlor and then suffix IDE. Suffix IDE is given in two non-metals also. Suffix IDE is given. So phosphorus trichloride, PCl5, phosphorus pentachloride. Penta means 5, chloride. Okay, so this is how you name a compound having two non-metals. Then two elements and oxygen. Oxygen is represented at the end of formula. That is one rule. Oxygen is represented at the end of the formula. The name of the compound depends on the number of oxygen atoms present in the compound. Right? The name of the compound depends on the number of oxygen atoms present in the compound. For example, you can use hypo if number of oxygen atom is less than 2. For example, NaClO, sodium hypochlorite. First you have written metal, then prefix hypo is added because the number of oxygen atoms is 1, which is less than 2. So hypo, and then chlorine, but you have to add a suffix IDE. So sodium hypochloride. The suffix ITEUE is used if the number of oxygen atoms is exactly 2. So NaClO2, sodium, chloride, no hypo, no prefix is required. You just add the suffix ITE, not IDE. Okay, here also the suffix was ITE. If I've said IDE, it's wrong. It is ITE. Sodium hypochlorite, sodium chlorite. But if the number of oxygen atoms is 3, then you use the suffix 8, 8. Okay, so sodium chlorate, sodium chlorate. And if the number of oxygen atom is more than 3, then you use a prefix per in front of the non-metal. So NaClO4, oxygen is more than 3, so you write sodium and then you use prefix in front of chlorate or whatever. So per chlorate, per chlorate. Why per? Because per is a prefix for used for number of oxygen, determining the number of oxygen which are more than 3. So this is how you name two elements and oxygen. Important. It is important. Naming acids, very important. Names of binary acids are given by adding the prefix hydro and the suffix IC to the name of the second element. Name of binary acids are given by adding the prefix hydro and the suffix IC to the name of the second element. Like HCl. So you write hydro because there is hydrogen. Hydro means hydrogen. Hydrogen is written with the prefix hydro, and chlorine is not written. Chloric is written with the suffix IC. Hydrochloric acid. So these are specifically for binary acids. And what are binary acids? Binary acids are acids which are composed of two elements, one hydrogen and one other non-metal, like HCl, like HF, hydrofluoric acid, binary acids. But if the acids contain radicals of polyatomic groups, they are given, the names of these acids are given on the basis of second element present in the molecule, and the prefix hydro is not used. Like if it is H2SO4, we have SO4 over here, which is a polyatomic radical. So hydro will not be used. So we'll name it in the context of the radical, which is sulfate. So hence the name is sulfuric acid. Here see IC, the suffix IC is common, is used. So sulfuric acid. This will be nitric acid. We don't use hydronitric or something like that. Just nitric acid. Phosphoric acid. Okay. So that's how you name acids. If the number of oxygen atoms is less, the suffix OUS is used instead of IC. So if we have in place of H2SO4, right, we have H2SO3. Here you observe that number of oxygen atom is less. So we don't use the suffix IC, we use the suffix OUS. And this will become sulfurous acid. What will it become? Sulfurous acid. HNO2, nitrous acid. Because number of oxygen atom is less than the actual number. In actual case, the number of oxygen atom was 4 and here 3. But if the number of oxygen atoms are 3 and 2 in sulfuric and nitric acid, they become sulfurous and nitrous acid respectively. Trivial names. There are certain compounds with the names that do not follow any systematic rule. There are certain compounds with the names that do not follow any systematic rule. मतलब randomly उनको नाम दिया है, तो उनको trivial name बोलते हैं, common names, और ये widely accepted है. ठीक है, जैसे कि एक नाम बताता हूँ मैं तुम्हें, नाइट्रोजन ट्राईहाइड्राइड, तुमने सुना भी नहीं होगा. हाँ, लेकिन अमोनिया सबने सुना है, NH3, तो अमोनिया इज अ ट्रिवियल नेम, कॉमन नेम. हाइड्रोजन मोनोक्साइड और डाईहाइड्रोजन ऑक्साइड, क्या है ये? वाटर. हम ट्रिवियल नेम वाटर ही बोलते हैं, केमिस्ट्री में भी वाटर बोलते हैं. ठीक है. Okay, the next topic is to calculate the valency from the formula. We can easily calculate the valency from the formula. Okay, but you, for that you should know that some negative radicals or positive radicals, what valency do they have? Like hydrogen has valency of 1, oxygen is valency of 2, and chlorine has valency of 1. Plus or minus does not matter. Okay, so how to find the valency? Suppose you have the formula NO2. What you do is you interchange the subscript and write it as superscript. तो ये क्या करो, तुम इसको इंटरचेंज कर दो. ये जो 2 है ना, वो कहाँ से आया है? ये n के सुपरस्क्रिप्ट से आया है. सुपरस्क्रिप्ट मतलब जो ऊपर लिखते हैं, और n के सबस्क्रिप्ट में 1 है, तो वो 1 को O के सुपरस्क्रिप्ट में डाल दो. The valency of oxygen is taken as 2. So multiply both the superscripts by 2. अब ऑक्सीजन की वैलेंसी हमें पता है, मैंने बोला था उसका प्रीवियस तुम्हें नॉलेज होना चाहिए. सो ऑक्सीजन की वैलेंसी 2 है, इसलिए ऑक्सीजन का जो 1 है सुपरस्क्रिप्ट में, उसको 2 से मल्टीप्लाई करो. और क्योंकि यहाँ पे 2 से मल्टीप्लाई किया है तुमने, तो तुम्हें नाइट्रोजन के साथ भी 2 मल्टीप्लाई करना पड़ेगा. सो बेसिकली वी गेट N4O2. The result gives the valency of the elements N4O2. Thus, from the formula NO2, we find that the valency of nitrogen is 4. But I don't agree with it. Valency of nitrogen is actually 3 minus as per me. मैं अगर तुम्हें बताऊं यहाँ पे, नाइट्राइड किधर है? ट्राईवैलेंट, ये देखो नाइट्राइड, नाइट्रोजन की वैलेंसी 3 माइनस है. So I don't fully agree with the method of finding valency over here, but because you know this is a covalent compound और इसकी valency ढूंढना इतना easy नहीं है. ठीक है, तो I'm not sure कि you should follow this particular part of the chapter. अभी इसको follow मत करना. ठीक है. So what we have done over here is we have completed first part. Exercise 1A मैं तुम्हें भेज देता हूँ, and then in the next video, maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we are going to start with chemical equation, balancing the chemical equation, and the partial method for balancing the equation, or hit and trial method or partial method. ठीक है. So these all things basically we are going to do in the second part, and then the last part we have relative atomic mass and percentage composition, ठीक है, और empirical formula. तो ये सारी चीज़ें हम लोग आगे पढ़ने वाले हैं, but for that you should be very well versed with the topic which we have completed till now. So I'm going to share the exercise with you, share the homework with you. That's your today's work. I hope you finish it as soon as you can, and I hope you understood today's part of making chemical formulae, and I hope that you will remember the valency for a long period of time, because it's really very, very useful, right? So I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye bye.